played out on social media last month at a downtown LA high-rise, and tonight, the LAPD releasing chilling new video.
Riots, protests, and looting have broken out in Minnesota as Black Lives Matter supporters congregate together in support of Dante Wright, who was killed by a police officer on Sunday. On Tuesday, police had made more than 60 arrests as protesters took to the street to beg for justice.
Showed the man holding a woman hostage in her own apartment. It shows SWAT moving in from that point. It appears he holds that gun to the woman's head. He's now a hostage taker, forcing LAPD go fast. The SWAT and the deadly takedown. The suspect has since been ID'd. The story behind the embassy from LA. It has been now evidence of all killing video from that cell phone that shows flashbangs and SWAT moving through the darkness. Shows the gunman walking through the hallway and check his hand. He still has his gun.
Now live.
He gets into a woman's apartment.
Hostage not hurt, and how incredible is that with all of that gunfire, all the threatening action going on?
Get on the ground, Brandon! Get on the ground!
Get on the ground!
Get on the ground!
Gentlemen, here we go again. And why am I making this video? Because the disingenuous nature of not only black people, some, not all, but a lot of them, and the disingenuous nature of CNN in the reporting. These people have reported on police incidents 1,000 times, and they are disingenuous every single time. The police officers get no voice every single time. So B. Tatum have to put this in perspective. When they wrong, and when they right, they right.
I personally break down tons of police videos myself and actually recommend that everyone do that before you end up taking anything from the news, as in my opinion it is the best way to make sure that you get all of the facts as well as anything else you might miss that comes with bias reporting or anything like that. If you want a guide to how to actually review these things, I would recommend watching Donut Operator break a few down, and then you'll slowly start to understand how to actually review police footage. And on top of Officer Tatum giving his commentary, I will obviously be giving my commentary
but the media
as well.
always want them to be wrong, and they make up lies and scenarios instead of holding people accountable. Sent me this video and said, hey man, you gonna make a video about this? Allegedly, they want you to believe this young black man who was doing nothing wrong ran into his house and the police beat him down and choked him and he's bloody and they all should be fired.
This is my first time actually seeing his footage, but it didn't take me a really long time to actually check on the situation before I watched this video. From what I found online, he either had a traffic light or a stop sign, something along those lines, and the police on a long chase around the neighborhood, eventually ending in his house, where the police followed him into his house, and that is where the video picks up.
Let's talk about what the truth is. Roll the clip.
What you're about to watch is disturbing.
Anyone else remember when it used to be that some viewers may find this disturbing, but now it's just the video you're watching is disturbing, almost like they're planting an idea in your head before you even watch the video to escalate your feelings that are probably already heightened when clicking on a video with a title such as theirs.
Hold on, let me put this in context before you watch this. He runs a stop sign. He then evades police. He can't just stop. He can't just stop and say, all right, here's my stuff, or I disagree with you, give me the ticket, I'll see y'all in court. No. He evades the police. He flees from them. He drives to his house. He jumps out his car. He runs in his house. And police officers have to pursue him. I'm going to play the clip and I'm going to tell you why this is problematic and why this is a dangerous situation for police and why they had the right to go in his house.
No! Randy! 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 Stop! Stop hitting him! Stop hitting him! Stop!
Now I understand that everyone knows police protocol, what's going on, or escalations of force, which is why I'm trying to make this in an educational format and not just a I'm correcting you format. A lot of people seem to not understand why the police came in with just their tasers and batons. They actually think that's excessive force for the situation. But so far, you have a suspect who fled from police and ran into his own home. He could have easily armed himself with anything from a knife to a gun, and the police wouldn't know. Yet despite that, the police still went in using non-lethals like a baton and a taser. There's other lists of non-lethals. A list of non-lethals includes pepper spray, batons, tasers, 40 mic, or just any beanbag shotgun in general, and some rubber bullets, something along those lines, along with a pepper ball gun. In this situation, law enforcement has the full right now to have lethal force drawn on this guy. They don't know what he's grabbed or what he's drawn or anything like that. And I believe the black officer in the case actually does have his handgun drawn here, as you're seeing in the clip. But some people don't understand why this is, so let me explain the escalation of force.
If you raised your son with common sense and his daddy was there, maybe you wouldn't be arguing and screaming like this.
This is a basic example of pyramid of force used by law enforcement as a guideline. At the top, you have lethal. Below that, you have escalation. Before that, you have non-lethal. And before that, at the very start of a situation, you have verbal. Every single time a suspect fails to comply, you raise the level up by 1. Starting out with verbal, you have warnings, instructions, and verbal commands given by the officers. If the suspect fails to comply, you move on to the next level in the escalation pyramid, which is non-lethal. Non-lethal alternatives include tasers, batons, pepper spray, pepper ball gun, paintball gun, canines, as well as everything included in the previous level of the pyramid. If the suspect is still uncompliant, they usually escalate the non-lethal use of force. This is most commonly seen in riots. Escalation of the non-lethal force includes all the before options, as well as adding rubber bullets, beanbag shotguns, tear gas, and the 40 mic. And finally, if the suspect will not comply or has a lethal weapon in hand, you move to the final escalation in the pyramid, which is lethal force. Authorized lethal force includes the service handgun, which is required and mandatory by every officer in the United States, patrol rifles, 12-gauge shotguns, and last but not least,
gun.
Sniper rifles. These are not rules and these are not absolute. It is simply a guideline that the majority of police stations follow, or something similar.
I'm just saying.
He's beating him and tasing him. He has no weapon, sir. There's no weapon. They're being aggressive. I have all of this on video.
I don't get why people think that just because he's unarmed, he's not dangerous. And like we just discussed, the officers are using non-lethal force on a non-compliant suspect.
No, I need to record this. No, you will not. Don't put your hands on me. Do not put your hands on me.
And after all this, he still can't comply. He can't comply. He can't just say, all right, I'm in my house, my mama's screaming, y'all got me, let me chill. It's just a traffic stop. Or it was, but he gotta keep going.
And to his point, yes, this would have been just a simple traffic stop, maybe even just getting a ticket. He could have fought it in court, but instead he decided to flee, which is why I don't feel much sympathy. This could have ended significantly worse for him, but of course he doesn't die and he survives, and officers never actually have to use lethal force on him, because they were able to escalate their use of non-lethal force to get the suspect to comply, eventually leading to his arrest. Obviously, I'm going to let everyone come to their own conclusions and opinions, but I think the girlfriend just summed it up really well with that one quote. Stop resisting. The more you resist, the worse it's going to get for you, especially if you're in this situation right here. And because of his actions, not resisting, officers had to tase him and they used batons to try to get the suspect to submit. And despite that, he still at this point did not submit.
Just stop. Just stop. No.
No, he black. He's supposed to be able to do whatever he want to do. He don't want to go to jail today. He should be able to just flee the police, run in his house, and hide. And the cops are supposed to go home and say, you know what? He didn't want to go today, so he get the runner stop sign. He get the evade arrest. He get to do whatever he want to do because he's black.
While I think Officer Tatum's comments here are very snarky, I'd be hard-pressed to believe that he's wrong, as people today seem to suggest that they actually believe this.
If this was a white kid, they'd never have him on the news. They could have shot him, and they would have never spoke about this on the news.
I know a lot of people who would disagree with him, and a lot of times I may disagree with him. However, I cannot disagree with him as this is true. Everyone knows about the black man who was shot 60 plus times, but no one knows about the white man who was shot over 300 times in Los Angeles, California. Now, in both cases, I believe the shootings were justified. However, to his point, only one type of shooting is almost ever and always brought up.
But since he's black, he can resist. There's not one comment that says, why didn't he comply? You can't fear a use of force if you don't get to a use of force situation.
Brandon, get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
All right, CNN's Nadia
And the funny thing is the black cops in there, so you know it ain't gonna happen with him.
Romero is here with us now. Nadia, you actually spoke with Brandon Calloway.
It's weird how the media has everyone thinking that now the second you step on someone's neck, it's just a magic off switch and they instantly die, which just simply isn't true. But you can tell she believes this by her absolute freak out. I'm going to end this video here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications on, and help support the Singularity.
A hostage situation played out on social media last month at a downtown LA high-rise, and tonight, the LAPD releasing chilling new video.
Riots, protests, and looting have broken out in Minnesota as Black Lives Matter supporters congregate together in support of Dante Wright, who was killed by a police officer on Sunday. On Tuesday, police had made more than 60 arrests as protesters took to the street to beg for justice.
Showed the man holding a woman hostage in her own apartment. It shows SWAT moving in from that point. It appears he holds that gun to the woman's head. He's now a hostage taker, forcing LAPD to act fast. The SWAT and the deadly takedown. The suspect has since been ID'd. This 45-year-old evidence of this chilling video from that cell phone that shows the flashbangs and SWAT moving through the darkness. Police chase the gunman into this apartment building at 6th and Main. More security video now shows the gunman walking through the hallway and check his hand.
He
still has his gun.
Now live,
he gets into a woman's
the female
apartment.
hostage not hurt, and how incredible is that with all of that gunfire, all the threatening action going on.